But first, it's time for the Royal Dispatch. Prince Harry thought that he'd found peace over in the States, but an American dominatrix and OnlyFans star, Carrie Royale, is threatening to sell never-seen-before pictures of the Duke naked at an infamous Las Vegas party back in 2012. She told The Sun, "I never released these pictures before out of respect. Now, it doesn't matter. He's a bloody idiot." Her words, obviously, not ours. You may remember the headlines back in 2012 after a drunken Duke was pictured playing naked billiards and forced to fly back to Britain in disgrace. Well, I'm delighted to welcome former royal correspondent for the BBC, Michael Cole, onto the show now. Michael, thank you very much. Is this another example of Harry's past coming back to haunt him?
Good evening, Patrick. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, or so they say, but not on this occasion. We're going back here to 2012, so nearly 12 years ago. And Carrie, now 52, was 40 at the time. She's what is known as a dominatrix. I hope I've pronounced that right, whatever that is. She went into his suite or room at the Wynn Hotel. There were some strippers there. A game called Strip Billiards was being played. And she took these photographs, as you just explained. And now Carrie plans to exhibit these online and charge people to see them, to see effectively the crown jewels, I suppose. And she expects to make $1 million out of this. I'm afraid I have to tell Carrie there is a design fault in her plan, because she would have to get the permission of the person pictured for this website to allow the pictures to go up. And I cannot think for a minute that Prince Harry, tucked away in California, is going to go over to Las Vegas and say, with my blessing, put these photographs online. But I think it's worth saying this slightly more seriously, Patrick. That was at a time when Harry was falling out of nightclubs drunk and wearing Nazi uniforms. And, you know, in that time, his older brother didn't distance himself from him. He didn't criticize him publicly. He didn't disown him. He stayed loyal to him, which may be perhaps something for Harry to think about as he spends a lot of his time knocking spots off his family.
No, indeed. And I'll be honest with you as well, if this was another way around, I mean, this is essentially blackmail, isn't it? And if indeed he is naked, I mean, you know, you can't go around doing things like that. You absolutely can't go around just releasing naked. I mean, there are laws against this.
Yeah, well, I actually know Steve Wynn, who, the hotel, that's his hotel, the Wynn Hotel. He's probably the most powerful man in Las Vegas. I can't imagine that he would have smiled upon this or allowed it or sanctioned it had it been going on. But it was at that time maybe the lowest point in Prince Harry's life. There he's coming out of the High Court after another one of his cases, Prince of litigation, either winning or losing, but certainly carrying on. It's a very, very sad affair. I'm sure that he will be looking at it closely. Maybe in America he can get an injunction to stop it. But, you know, these things do come back and haunt you. And at that time, he was in a very, very poor state. I think the army made a man out of him. And that was probably the highest point when he became the happy prince before his marriage.
All right, OK. Now, look, the Princess of Wales' controversial Uncle Gary Goldsmith has entered the Celebrity Big Brother house this week. He has a prediction for Prince Harry's future.
It's really sad because at some point, I think he's going to come back and be part of the gang. He might need to.
Will he?
And it's, yeah, but I think we're a very forgiving nation. I think everyone would give him a chance again.
It would be nice if he did.
So Uncle Gary thinks Harry's coming back at some point.
Patrick, let me just say that there are two chances of Prince Harry coming back to this country and being integrated in the royal family. In the magic words of Muhammad Ali, in a completely different context, there are two chances, slim and none. He's going to have to eat a humble pie about the size of Buckingham Palace behind your head, and he's going to have to grovel, I think, to his brother and to his sister-in-law. And of course, there we have Uncle Gary. He hasn't been hired to go to the Big Brother house because of his sparkling personality or repartee and sophisticated conversation. He's been invited because he's the uncle of the woman who will, in all probability, be the next queen. And they got him there because they want him to say indiscreet things. And to be slightly serious about it, he has, of course, said some disobliging things about Harry and Meghan in the past, our favourite people. But that does not help the Princess of Wales, because if you think about it, and you sometimes ought to look, and we all ought to look, during the whole of this saga with the Sussexes, Kate, Princess of Wales, has not said one single word in their disfavour. She hasn't criticised them. She hasn't reacted. She's maintained fantastic dignity and poise, and that's to be hugely congratulated. And now, at a time when she's recovering, and we do hope, collectively, we all hope she's getting better very, very soon. The last thing she wants is Gabby Gary in the Big Brother house pontificating on affairs that are nothing really to do with him.
Well, exactly. This is the thing, isn't it? But anyway, look, Michael, thank you very much. That's Michael Cole there, our fantastic Royal Correspondent.